At Severfield, we're aware of our duty of care to all persons involved in and affected by our operations and to the environment. Our safety, health and environmental teams have developed control procedures to not only meet legal requirements, but apply and, where possible, lead best practice. Our safety, health and environmental policy statements are displayed on Severfield notice boards. Please make yourself aware of these. We work on operating sites that have a range of hazards. Always ensure you adhere to signage on site making you aware of these, remembering the 4 colours. Blue, mandatory, what you must do. Red, prohibited, what you must not do. Yellow, hazard, caution, shows warning. Green, safety messaging. Here we'll go through some common hazards and measures that are required to be in place to control them. Working at height. Our SeverSafe Edge protection system, or equivalent, is expected to be in place for unprotected edges. Appropriate access equipment and fall arrest methods will be used when working on open steel or in access equipment. To prevent falling objects, all equipment and tools are to be secured when not in use. When in use, tools are to be tethered. Our SeverSafe offload system or equivalent will be in place to manage offloading deliveries to site. Lifting operations. It is essential that the ground conditions are stable for vehicles and plant. An SF10 site handover certificate from the client must be in place before any works are undertaken. A lifting plan identifying key personnel including the appointed person, crane supervisor, crane operator, slinger and banksman will be produced and communicated. You will need to be briefed and fully understand your responsibilities. Exclusion zones will be established in lifting areas. Steel is to be stored in a secure way to prevent toppling, and stability posts are to be used where possible. Only work around steel storage areas if you have to. Don't sit or step on stored steel, and always ensure the timber bearers extend beyond the flange of the steel. Plant and powered tools. Always use the right equipment as identified in your task method statement. All portable electrical equipment must be PAT tested. All grinders must have a handle-on and non-locking switches. Complete pre-use checks of your equipment. Look for faults and report defective equipment to a supervisor and ensure it is taken out of use. Complete documented inspections for lifting and fall arrest equipment. Vehicle movement and other contractors on site. Please make sure you adhere to travel and pedestrian routes and be considerate of moving plant, machinery and people. Documents used for control of safety. You will be briefed on relevant documents to manage health and safety on site. This can include the contract management plan, risk assessments, method statements, COSH assessments, delivery plans and lifting plans. Task briefings are an important part of how safety and work information is communicated to our site operatives. These briefings will cover daily Severfield work activities and any other activities by others which could affect our workforce. Typical subjects include work activities and applicable risk assessments, method statements or COSHH assessments, work at height requirements, permits to work required, for example a hot work permit, working on open steel, additional personal protective equipment requirements over and above the mandatory, temporary works, exclusion zones, tool and equipment tethering, lifting plans and deliveries due to site. In addition to this, we also deliver toolbox talks to raise awareness of hazards and cover time-relevant topics. Severfield will only use competent, trained employees and subcontractors where minimum training requirements are identified. Employees and subcontractors are required to present existing training certificates. Please do not undertake any activity for which you are not trained. Personal protective equipment. We provide our employees with approved personal protective equipment that has gone through a quality selection process. It is vital that you only wear equipment that is provided by the company. Subcontractors are expected to have PPE equivalent to that provided to Severfield employees. Mandatory PPE on site is safety footwear, helmet with chin strap, high visibility and protective outerwear, gloves, eye protection, ear defenders. Additional PPE is identified for specific tasks. A full face visor must be worn when grinding. Where there is no chin guard on the visor, light eye protection must also be worn. Respiratory protective equipment is required for welding activity. PPE is provided for your protection and must be worn. Keep your PPE in good condition. Inspect it regularly, and if it becomes damaged or defective, request a replacement. The nature of your work may require you to use handheld vibratory tools, which can cause hand-arm vibration syndrome. Severfield strives to reduce exposure to vibration to as low as reasonably practicable, and vibration levels are always considered when purchasing tools. Handheld tool hand-arm vibration record sheets are used to monitor and measure exposure. Ensure you complete these and do not exceed maximum use time for tools. Rotate your jobs if required. It's important to use the correct tool for the task. Don't grip tools too tightly, and report or quarantine any defective tools. Look out for signs of vibration white finger. These can include loss of strength of grip and dexterity of the hand, blanching of fingers and pins and needles after using equipment. If you have any concerns, make sure to report these to your foreman or site manager. Manual handling. Lifting and lowering is required in site work. Wherever possible, avoid manual handling by using mechanical aids. If manual handling is unavoidable, ensure you are trained and using the correct lifting techniques at all times. Look for any trip hazards on your route and, if possible, tidy them up or seek assistance to make them safe. Potentially hazardous substances. We produce risk assessments for potentially hazardous substances, known as COSHH assessments. If required, you will be issued with personal protective equipment for a task as a measure to control exposure. Materials such as paints and oils must be stored within dedicated areas to prevent misuse and escape into the environment. Report any spills that occur and, where possible, contain and clean them up with materials provided. We're an environmentally conscious company committed to continuously improving our carbon footprint and protecting the immediate environment around our sites. Everyone working on behalf of Severfield has a level of responsibility in protecting the environment. All waste must be disposed of correctly and safely in storage facilities provided. We encourage recycling where possible. We're all responsible for keeping our work areas clean, tidy, and free from trip hazards. Please work together on this, and if you come across something that can be easily corrected or cleaned up, please do so and inform your foreman or site manager should this need to be brought to their attention. Emergency procedures will be communicated to you through site-specific inductions, usually delivered by our clients. Help to prevent emergencies by managing combustible materials and hot works, and maintaining good housekeeping. Manage hot works. Report all accidents to first aiders, who can be identified from notice boards and stickers on helmets. First aid assistance will be provided, and any further medical assistance will be coordinated by our site teams. Also report near-miss events. Reporting accidents and incidents will allow an investigation to take place, appropriate to the severity of the event. The purpose is to identify corrective and preventive action. Rest facilities are provided for you on site. Smoking is only permitted within designated areas. Mobile phones are to be used in break times only. Linking to our life-saving rule fundamentals, we want to ensure you are fit for work and you must be unaffected by drugs or alcohol. We undertake health screening associated with site hazards for our direct employees, such as noise, vibration, and lung function tests. This is for your protection and to ensure our controls are appropriate. You are required to attend these when requested. We conduct planned random and for-cause drug and alcohol testing for anyone working on behalf of Severfield. Again, this is for your protection and to ensure our employees and subcontractors are not impaired when in the work environment. This policy runs alongside any client-specific requirements. If you are now, or at any time in the future, required to take any medication or have any medical conditions which may affect your ability to carry out your work in a safe manner, please ensure that you inform the site manager immediately. This includes both prescribed medication and over-the-counter medication. At Severfield, we're committed to maintaining a safe work environment for our people and those that work with us. As an employee or subcontractor of Severfield, You have a responsibility to take care of yourself and anyone who may be affected by your actions. Conduct yourself in a safe manner at all times. Follow our SLAM principle to help you do this. Stop for a moment and ask yourself, have you signed up to the task briefing for the work you are carrying out, and do you have any required permits to work? Can the work be completed in line with the task briefing? Look at your work area. Do you have all the necessary tools and equipment you will need to do the work safely? Is there a safe means of access, egress, to the area you need to work in? If not, please arrange this before commencing the task required. Has anything changed since you started work in the area or whilst you were away from it? Anticipate what could go wrong and ensure that all necessary measures are in place to prevent an accident or incident. Manage your work safely. Keep exclusion zones maintained and stop others from ignoring them. If somebody walks into your area and won't leave or refuses to stop, then stop work and report it. Stop and inform your supervisor or foreman if you have any concerns. Severfield. Do the safe thing.